In the world of meditation, I'm definitely not an expert. In the world of meditation, I'm an artist and an explorer. What interests me is to master as many different types of meditation as possible to the level that I understand it well enough to be able to use it and to combine it with other types of meditation. There's three little discoveries I made in my world of meditation that I'm excited about and I want to share, because they're great examples about how meditation can be fun, how it can be exciting, can be thrilling, it can be an adventure, and not just a boring thing of sitting in silence. The first one is, well, it stems out of space meditation. I learned about space meditation from Dr. Les Femi, who wrote a book called Open Focus Brain, and he's been putting EEGs on people's head for 50 years, and his expertise is space. So I learned different techniques about meditating on space, and he showed me how you can meditate on visual space, you can meditate on the space between sounds, you can meditate on the space around you, the physical space around you, the space inside of your body. And as I was playing with this and training and practicing, I thought, now that I master this, how far can I take it? What else can I see and meditate on the space between different things? And as I was having that thought, there was a space afterwards. And so for the first time, I noticed that there are spaces in between my thoughts. And I remember sitting there and having that internal smile of excitement to have discovered something new. And I was like, whoa, space between my thoughts. Let's keep observing this. And so I spent the next 30, 40 minutes sitting there and observing the space between my thoughts. And as I did, I realized for the first time that I was experiencing time. Time was that space between the thoughts I have. That's when time is passing. And so when I was observing the space between my thoughts, I felt like I was observing time. And that was it was a phenomenal experience. It was like going to a different country where everything is different and taste new food. And you're like, whoa, how have I never known about this? The second one is actually not something I did for myself, but I did with someone else. And that was fun too. Because what happens is that he can't see with his left eye. And I was taking him through a space meditation exercise, as I sort of described earlier. And after the exercise, I asked him how it was, how was the experience, to debrief and see how we can, make his meditation deeper and more exciting. As I asked him questions, I realized that because he can't see with his left eye, there's a whole bunch of information that he's not seeing, he's not perceiving, that's not getting to him. And so I started asking questions about how he experiences the left eye. And he was startled because he didn't have answers. And so I kept telling him, sit there and observe it. Just take the time, notice. How does that left eye actually feel? Do you actually feel anything? Do you feel any sensations? Can you feel the space that your eye takes? Can you do any kind of movement? The movements you do, how do they affect your experience of your eye? when you close or you open your eye, does it make a difference? And what kind of difference does it make? Etc., etc. And so over the course of the next 30 minutes, we kept exploring his left eye and ended up developing a series of steps for him to do a meditation over his left eye that can't see. And that's what I now call a tailored meditation. And I believe that all of us can create these kind of tailored meditation that help us uniquely, specifically expand our world. Because his left eye is something that he never paid attention to. It was there, but he never used it. He never bothered to think about it. And now that he does, it opens a whole lot of possibilities. And the third little story I want to share about my explorations in meditation is actually the first one that happened chronologically. What I was doing is that I was trying to figure out how I was meditating. So that was before I went to any course on meditation, or before I'd read really anything about meditation. I remember reading a book when I was 15, a fiction book in which one of the characters meditated and sort of got out of his body, and so I thought, okay, cool, I'll try that. And so I started meditating without really having any idea of what I was doing. I could just see that when I was sitting there, things were happening. And so one day, after a practice of observing how I was meditating and how it was to meditate, I eventually got through a breakthrough where I noticed a pattern all the way from having all these thoughts in my head that would just pop everywhere, to the thoughts slowly reducing and disappearing. And then memories would pop up. Recent memories at first, and then as those would disappear, older and older and older memories would sort of suddenly emerge. And as these would pass, then only there would be sort of words popping up in my mind, sentences, ideas, thoughts. And as those started to slowly fade, I could see colors and visuals only. And I was left with only colors moving around. And as that slowly disappeared, I was left with black. And then, as the black was happening, there's a point where that faded too, and where there was just nothing. And I remember that moment of basking in nothing. It wasn't even black in my head. It wasn't like, there was just nothing. And that was super exciting. And I remember sort of noticing that and then being like, whoa, I'm experiencing nothing. And so I got up and I started writing down, and I wrote the whole process, and I've got it written out, and I could share it under this video. I will share it under this video. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Now I know how to do it. And I tried to do it again, and I couldn't. I tried to do it again, and the furthest that I ever got back to was experiencing just black. But I never managed to go past that. But the truth is that after it happened once, I didn't really have that much motivation to put more effort into it. So I was like, there you go, that's it. Now I know that this is possible. Now let's move on to something else and discover how far it's possible to go in another field of meditation. I'm sharing these stories because meditation is something that I discovered when I was 15, that I've been exploring for the last, 15 years now. And I love to be able to share how exciting meditation can be, how much fun it can be, how creative you can be with it. And it pains me when I hear about people meditating and having this boring, dreadful experience of having to just sit in silence and do nothing. And I just say, this is terrible. That's just awful. Why would you do that to yourself? And that's why I created this program, this online this online meditation program. I've done this a few times already with various groups. And this time what we'll do is that we'll spend 2 weeks during which from Monday to Friday we do different types of meditations. So we'll do 6 different types of meditation. We'll talk about the art of meditation. And over the final 2 days, what we'll do is that 3 days we'll do creative meditations about how you start mixing things together, and then how to tailor the meditation to your own life and to what's happening to you, and how to create a meditation that is yours. If any of this sounds exciting or interesting, check the link below or next to the video, or somewhere there ought to be a link to The Art of a Magical Life. And if you go into the expeditions, you will see this online coaching program. The first run will be from June 13th to June 22nd, I want to say. Something like that. The actual details are on the page. So I look forward to meditating with you. If you know anyone for whom this could be exciting, send them the video, because we'll have a great time together exploring, creating, and meditating. Thank you.